Hello and good evening. Looking a little bit different tonight because I made an audio reactive avatar just for this Sunday night. Well, I think sometimes when I don't want to put my face on screen, it's a good thing. And in addition to that being a good thing, it's also kind of nice to have something with a little bit of movement. So we're trying that out. Well, anyway, tonight we have part 2 of 2, The Fifth Element. We'll be taking a look at some slides and great moments from the film. We left off about halfway through, and tonight some of the great music will be holding. We will be beholding the music. We will be enjoying that great opera scene, as well as some other great scenes, little bit of reggae and all that sort of thing. All right, so let me introduce the co-hosts. From a forest deep in the mountains of Tennessee, we have this gentleman. Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley, how are you?
Good evening, Lawrence. Aren't we Mr. Fancy with our avatar tonight?
Yes. It took me a little bit to hack it together.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
So
might consider keeping it.
yeah, well,
I bet.
I'll have it there as backup. Certainly, sometimes we need to be on camera, sometimes not, and so it's there for whenever I'm not. All right, and next, fresh from her market day, her virtual market day, we do have Liza from the Psyche Electroacoustic Opera Company. Here she is.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Sounding loud and clear.
Yay.
Yes, earlier today, Liza had another market on the Whatnot app.
Yes.
You were trying, first of all, to do it both YouTube and Whatnot, but they don't seem to be very compatible, are they?
Well, it's not that they're not compatible. Whatnot is designed to stream on the mobile app, and you can simulcast to YouTube from there. But the thing is, I wanted to include motion graphics and my audio reactive avatar that I work so hard on. And yeah, it doesn't matter how I stream from OBS, either with the virtual cam or using their OBS integration system. It does not work. But I finally conceded and ran the stream on my smartphone, and everything went smoothly. And at the end of the day, I made $44 in 3 hours. So nice.
Yes.
Of course, Whatnot takes their little cut, which is not so little, but for being the first stream where I had some successful auctions, yeah, I know what to do now, and I think I can make a little more in the next stream.
Yes, so folks interested in cigar box guitars as well as handcrafted jewelry and other well-crafted artistic items of creation, definitely check out Psyche's Opera Company channel. It's in the description. It's at Psyche Opera on YouTube, and on Whatnot, you could also look it up there. But if you sign up for her newsletter, you'll be able to find her in all places. Now, we have a bit of a mystery box here, and this is going to be just as much of a surprise for me as it will be for our chat. There is...
Surprise for me here. Who is that?
I, I don't know. It has my name. It says Lawrence Moore, and it's not something that ever came through this webcam. I don't know if this is Swappers trying to pull a fast one on us or what.
Burce Willis?
Let me give it a shot. He did load up before the show, and I forgot that because I usually load them different ways, and I forgot that frequently it just puts them down on the dashboard there for you. And I forgot about that.
There you go, and you were all worried.
Yeah, that was one
I
of the
was
quick.
worried too. Is like, did someone hack me?
Yeah, I thought someone was going to come on and just start saying all the swear words, the "see you next Tuesday" and all that stuff you can't say on YouTube. But no, that was one of the media clips I didn't play last week, and we actually have a second one.
Oh God!
But you got to see there the beautiful. You got to see the beautiful, like, airplane lavatory like style environment that that Corbin Dallas got to live in, and great '90s music. The drums and the bass there.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Hey, we got now open for lunch in the chat. Albert, I'm glad you're here.
Yes, because now we can confirm with you.
Yeah.
Are you able to do next Sunday? So, Liza, keep watching the chat. For those of you who don't know, Albert from Now Open for Lunch is a performer of the musical saw. Now, this is not a saw that just goes, it's not sawing sounds. It's when you use a modified saw, and it's often called the acoustic theremin because it creates a very ethereal sound. And basically when you bow it, and I've actually known musical saw players that have done things other than bowing it and really turned it into some fine performance art. But we did schedule a few weeks back for Albert to come on, and a confirmation tonight would be wonderful.
He says yes. I would like to show up on Sunday. Mister, you got to send
right?
him a link.
April 6th.
April 6th.
I've been emailing you at nowopenforlunch@gmail.com, so I'll be in touch.
Cool beans.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. It's going to be cool.
Well, we have one more media clip that we didn't get to last week, so let's do this. Swapper said last week that he was going to do his best to come tonight. Last week he was a little bit late, so who knows? He might be a little bit late this week, but we'll see. Here we go. Here's our other media clip that I didn't play last week because, man, we just got to talking and you follow the flow, and I just missed some numbers there on the slides. I was actually hoping to play. If I were to play this when we were talking about those scenes, it would have been much better. But still, I mean, the music, you hear that and you just like, and it was the 90s.
Better late than never, Lawrence.
Yeah, better late than never. But anyway, just the ambient piano, the slap bass, and that beat. And that was telling me 90s. 90s was written all over it.
There's some good
all
music.
right, folks. Yeah.
90s.
And, of course, tonight we are going to be playing more clips of the music of Eric Serra, who composed the score for this film. In part one, last week's episode, we do talk more about him in the beginning, but tonight we have a little bit more film to get to. And if we're going to get to all of it, we don't need to review his bio. So we are going to start where we left off last week. Last week we were right here where Zorg had just met with some of his hired mercenaries, the Vangalores, I believe they're called, and he decided to try and blow them up. And
that wasn't very nice, was it?
No, but he's not a nice guy.
No, he's not.
So anyway, after that, we switch to the what is it? Not Vito Corleone. Cornelius. Yes, Vito Cornelius and his assistant David. They
make an offer I can't
they're also New Yorkers. Yep. But they participate in organized religion, not organized crime. So they're here. They've just had the supreme being, the redhead, delivered to them, and so they're trying to figure out what they're going to do next. What's the next step? And there's a knock at the door, and we got some people visiting here, and yeah, and I think the first thing he said to them is wedding. He's hoping that they came there about a wedding or something, but no, they were there to bring him to Zorg headquarters, and that's a nice looking building. The atmosphere doesn't look too healthy, but the building looks nice, and I love that.
Very futuristic.
Yeah, and what kind of light is that? We call that, like, not fluorescent, but the kind of tubes that you use for light, the plasma lighting. It is fluorescent.
The tube
The
light.
neon?
Neon.
Oh, neon, yeah.
Neon, there we go.
Neon.
Somehow I forgot the word neon.
Neon.
Zorg, not to be confused with Korg. And so he was invited over there at the prompting of some messengers, and there we go. The good old flock of seagulls hairdo with Mr. Zorg himself. And he wanted to have a visit with Cornelius because the way this is shaping up is Zorg's starting to figure out that they need to his interests line up with getting these the four elements, the stones that are the four elements, and using them for other purposes. And this Cornelius apparently knows a lot about them, so he comes over for an interview. And some beautiful shots there, but Cornelius just mentions, "You're evil," and Zorg is going to give a little bit of demonstration on how he thinks, they're in a similar business. That glass was on the table there, and he throws it to the floor, and it shatters into all these fragments. And fortunately, one of the things dreamed about in the 90s were these little robots to come in and clean up the mess. And he speaks about, look at all these little machines that come to clean it all up. And so that way the engineers and designers get to earn a paycheck so that they can reproduce new engineers and designers for the next generation. So at least he was the type of megalomaniac that believed in employment. I wish some of the ones that live today believed in employment, but no, they want to replace all of us. So at least he was an equal opportunity employer.
Equal opportunity madman.
And he has a nice little auto sink there to fill it up with water again. And he begins to grab some cherries because he wants to flavor his water, takes a swig. But you don't want to drink cherries, swallow cherries in your water, because that could get stuck in your throat. And all of a sudden he realizes he's in a bit of a pickle. There's a cherry stuck in his throat, and he's choking on it. Points at his back there, hits some of the controls on his console, and we have some things coming out of his console. Just these inflatable things and card readers that shoot things out, all sorts of different devices that are not useful to him right now. And he even has this thing here. After he hits the control one more time, he has a little elephant guy. Now, I'm not sure what the purpose of this guy is for. Little elephant guy there comes out of the desk and just kind of stares at him.
Maybe
Cornelius,
it's just a pet.
Yeah, well, Cornelius is pointing out, none of these things are going to help you out. What you need is someone to give you a good old smack on the back. But who's going to do that? There he is choking, and Cornelius is coming in for the zoom in, just to deliver the point home. Look at that little, right there. There you go. The little elephant guy sitting there on your desk. He's not going to do anything to help you. You're choking. We are quite different. But then, as anyone who is from the good side, the light side of the force. If there's somebody that is about to lose their lives, you are going to save the life, no matter who it is. Otherwise, you are responsible for, not doing so. And so he pops that cherry out, and little desk pet is happy. All right. So anyway, they have a little bit of a discussion. In fact, after the scene, I was wondering what he really invited him over there for. But I guess talked enough, and Zorg knows that he's going to have to follow this guy, see what he does, and that might lead him to these 4 elements. But it was a productive meeting, at least for getting stuff off your chest, so to speak. So any interesting chats tonight so far that any of my co-hosts want to share with me? Because I know they're flashing up on screen, but I'm too busy talking and trying to say correct things. I can't pay attention to the chat.
Yeah, the chat's busy talking about the movie.
Yeah. You guys want to help out a little bit?
No, the freaky elephant thing.
Liza, you are the spokesperson of the chat.
I'm posting what the chat is saying.
And you can also help by telling me. All right. So anyway.
Boy, that's a lot of pressure.
Imagine the pressure I feel.
You got sweat on your forehead there, Liza?
Yes. Lots of pressure.
Well, he's got a scar on his forehead.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, do you, Mike? Oh, wait.
You got a plastic bowl.
Wait. Darth Vader? No, the Emperor just logged in.
Emperor Kipling?
Whoa.
We have an Emperor logging in right now.
Logging in as soon as I see said Emperor, we shall invite him forth.
Yes, we will.
Right now on screen we have evil. That is the shadow force that everybody's worried about. The darkness, the evil has come to wipe out life. Well, most people don't know it. They're just wondering what it's doing there. But it can't be good. And here we have, just on cue, if our Emperor is able to make it. I think we're talking about Emperor Kipling, right?
Who?
Swappers. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't know his other name. Swappers, right?
Yes.
That would be correct.
Yes.
Now,
do you guys see him? I don't see him on the stage
I just
below.
see him offline. I don't
Well, his avatar just appeared.
see him in the green room.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm looking at the thing below the stage, and I don't see.
Oh, but was his
I see
avatar up before?
It was for a second, then it disappeared. Then now it's, I don't know.
We're looking
so
at things that
confused.
look kind of like Star Destroyers there. This seems to be his entrance, because he is.
There you go.
The Emperor. Let's see here. Oh, great. He has a whole paragraph for me here.
Yeah. What's he saying? What's going on?
Oh my God.
No. He has an early start tomorrow, so he's not able to join us tonight.
Oh.
So I don't know. Maybe he was just going to drop by and say, "Hey, sorry, I can't make it." And
Oh, you don't have to do that.
no, but
Drop in
anyway,
when you can.
yeah. So anyway, though, still in the description is a link to Star Wars Retold. If anybody has not heard of that yet, please check that out. Star Wars Retold is a story. Well, it's a channel on YouTube that has a story there called Paraxium of the Pathfinders, written by the aforementioned Swap Shop. And it's something that you should check out. It's there in audio drama format, and it sounds beautiful. So,
Oh my gosh. I'm waiting for episode 5. I'm fully invested
well,
in
he is working on it. So,
Yep.
so that's almost here. But anyway,
Mister. Hey,
hey,
I got an idea.
what?
So, shouldn't we have like a special stream for when he releases episode 5?
Yeah, I was already
Yes.
planning on having a special stream, but I didn't know if it would line up with 5 or 6.
No,
And so,
I mean, we should work
Yes,
around
we
his schedule for sure and have
Yeah.
it be a marathon, maybe.
yeah, I was,
Ooh.
Yeah.
we'll keep planning that.
Marathon.
We'll keep
Yeah.
planning that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm also doing the following. In fact, in our first break, we are going to talk about some little bit of business here.
Flav says he'd be down for that. Cool
Yeah.
beans. Cool beans, Flav.
But what we're going to talk about is we know that Easter is fast approaching, and I have a couple of options for Easter. Now that we're confirmed with Albert next week, we're going
Oh my
to...
gosh, is Easter next Sunday?
No,
Oh.
it's the 20th.
19th
Oh, okay.
or
Okay.
20th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the it's the 20th.
20th.
So April the 6th is Albert, open for lunch. And then the 13th could be the return of Swappers. And then on the 20th, we're going to have a poll later as far as what we would do for Easter. I have 2 options. It was 3, but I decided one of them probably would be a little too controversial. So we're going to stick with the 2 options. And we'll have our chat vote on it. So we'll see. In any case, all these things are going to happen at some point. It's just the order. And so anyway, Star Destroyer's there. That's why I thought of Swappers right there. And no, the reason why his avatar appeared on screen is I didn't hide it from last week because I didn't know if he's coming this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, here we go, because it is very late in the UK, and he has an early start tomorrow, so he's not able to make it. So here we are. This is the president of Earth, and he's got sweat on his forehead, although he carries it well. He's worried about those aforementioned Star Destroyers. And look at this. There we go. That is...
Well, he should.
Well, he has some guy kind of... Well, this is not his guy. This is Zorg's guy. This is a guy working for Zorg who's bugged his office with a little mechanical bug, no less. And so he's got this little joystick and monitor there, and with a camera on this bug, and that bug is in the office crawling around. Little mechanical bug with a camera on it. President is planning on trying to get these 4 elements as well. Of course, for good reasons, on the side of good, but they want to get them because they're worried about this evil destroying us all. And so there we go, General KFC. It's kind of like General Sanders, He basically has an idea of who he's going to utilize to accomplish this task. They're talking about it, but there's the bug, and Zorg's listening. Unfortunately, Zorg's listening.
The road.
Yes. And at some point, though, President notices it, raises his shoe, and brings the shoe down hard on this expensive bug from Radio Shack. And that's not good for it, and that makes a loud noise.
Dead
I thought
bug.
that was a pretty cool design in there for the screen of this remote control bug. But he smashes it, and that guy has to pull off the headphones because that was loud. So anyway, then there's the part that they don't hear is, I guess, a few more details about the plan. But at least Zorg has enough that he kind of knows what they're doing, what the president of Earth's doing, and he knows a little bit more about this story, these 4 elements, which are the 4 stones. Same thing, 4 stones, but they're not all stones. They represent 4 elements. Magical. All right, well, this comes into Corbin Dallas's apartment. They have like these tubes that shoot out delivery. So they're still using paper in the future in 2214. And they just send it to you using vacuum tubes, kind of like they used to do in the hospitals. So anyway, he receives that. But this is kind of like order out Thai food. And this is a beautiful concept because you'll see here that Corbin Dallas is not in this restaurant. This restaurant is visiting him from outside his apartment. And he's having dinner and talking to this guy that's saying, trying to cheer him up and saying that, you've had a lot of bad luck, but you're due for some good luck now. So, check out that mail you just got through the vacuum tube. And Corbin doesn't want to check it, but he's like, check it out. Come on. You're due for some good luck. And then, of course, that smile turns into a frown because Corbin actually finds out he's been fired. Zorg fired. He's basically given all these jobs to the engineers building the robots to clean up broken glass, but he's taken away a cab driver job. So, Corbin unfortunately worked for Zorg, and Zorg's firing cabbies. And so he lost his job, and gentleman here feels a little bit bad about it, but Corbin said something that was kind of somewhat uplifting. It's like, at least I had this nice meal or something, or actually the result of the meal was they had a bet, and so his meal is free. So at least he had a free meal on the gentleman here, and says, hey, you're looking on the bright side of life. So that's good. And
look on the bright side of life.
Yes.
Oh no, coming. I hear a song coming.
Easter's coming.
This is pretty cool though, man. This is like the future of Uber Eats.
Yeah, they bring the restaurant to you.
Your food, they'll bring the whole damn restaurant.
The only thing is you gotta
much
have
better. Your food shall be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing is you gotta have an apartment on the outside with a window, Well, but it's still it's better than other concepts, and that's a beautiful looking city boat.
Nice.
Boat on pulleys,
flying
I think.
Restaurant, man.
No, it's not on pulleys. It's a flying boat.
Yeah, okay, I guess it's being.
I don't even think they had that in the jet. Yeah, it's a flying boat.
Yeah.
A flying restaurant boat.
Great concept for Thai food.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it
Oh, my
is.
gosh. Please send it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Corbin gets some other bad news. Is this where he gets the phone call? No, he's got a visit at the door. Oh, no, he receives something else through the mail. Yep, that's what it is. He got something else in the mail. And yeah, I don't know what, I really don't know what slide I took here. I guess that's on television or something. Oh no, that is the keyhole. That is like your that's where you can see who's outside. Okay, he's got visitors. Princess Leia there on the right. We find out her name later, but the general comes over to visit, and he has some good news for him. Corbin Dallas has won a trip to Floston Paradise. Floston Paradise is this cruise ship on another planet that everyone loves to go to. And so Corbin's won that trip, and there we go. They've got some, he's got his whole bio there. He says, you know what? We want you on a mission, and so we're going to give you this trip. And so they kind of rigged the competition so he'd win it. He'd win this vacation contest because he's basically the man that they need. Ex-military who's able to go into places and do some pretty tough things. And you can fly all the vehicles that we need you to fly and all that sort of thing. And so he's kind of making an offer that you can't refuse. And there we go. You could see the hurry.
Yeah, we're going to bring Don Corleone into it one way or the other. We're Vito Corleone.
So
Just don't bring Michael into it.
No. Michael had a hard time of it, man. he got put into a bad position.
He did.
So
Princess Leia.
Well, that's the thing that Corbin doesn't like about it. He might have been interested, except when he found out that her name is, I think it's Corporal Iceborg. I know it's Iceborg, but she's like going to be, she's going to be accompanying him.
Resistance is futile.
Yikes.
Well, she's supposed to accompany him as his wife, his undercover wife. Well, that's the cover, that they'd be a happy couple going. And
I wonder why they chose the Princess Leia buns.
Well, they looked good on Princess Leia.
Not really.
Yeah, that was the funkiest hairstyle they used for her in Star Wars. She looked better in other things.
Well, I guess they thought it was spacey, you know.
Yeah.
The space buns.
Yeah.
Muffle your ears. Huh? What? Huh?
A
Exactly.
woman that he's interested in, he said, what, you're married again? No, but I have this woman I'm interested in. And I really, he's trying to get out of it, but there's something else that happens here. There's I think we're about to get an interruption. Yeah, there's an interruption because he has this call at the door. There's something happening. Basically, it's police officers are coming down the hallway, and they're all in this armor, this black armor and stuff. And he has to take the general and the rest of the gang and hide them in a cupboard. And he squeezes them in there. And then that's when a kind of confusing part of the movie happens. But no, wait a minute. This isn't the cops yet. That's right. These guys came first. There's the perfect woman outside. And he's still trying. Yeah, he wanted to hide them because these guys are coming first. He doesn't know the cops are coming. And there's Obi-Wan, giving him the thumbs up. Hello there. Yeah. Basically they know that he won the contest and they want the ticket. Basically they want the ticket so that he can go and get the stones. And ladies there in the background and stuff. And that's all that Corbin can think about. Now, here's the cops.
Here they are.
Yep, here they are, finally. Yeah, it's hard to remember everything in order because things happen fast in this film. But the cops are outside, and they are looking for somebody. Basically, I'm not sure who they're working for. But there's some sort of call on somebody there, and yeah, Corbin, I think, is who they're looking for, but they get the wrong person eventually. But he's got to hide more people, so he's in this really tight apartment, hides the general and his buddies, and Princess Leia in the cupboard, and he's going to hide her in some auto shower thing, and he's going to hide, you see it sliding up there, and then he's hiding the Vito Corleone in the bed here, the slide out bed, and yeah, so everyone's hidden away. The cops are coming down the hallway, and every apartment has these yellow circles that you got to put your hand in whenever the cops come. So I guess it's something that happens often. Must be one of those dystopian future things. And so anyway, he has to put his. Although one good trick here, and this is advice for any time cops are looking for you. If they ask you if you're human, you tell them no. And just like Corbin Dallas says, you said, I'm a meat popsicle. I think that's what saved him because somehow that seemed to throw them off his scent because then they started harassing somebody, I guess, next door. And that would be this guy right here who'd tell them to go where to go. And that was not a good response. And so they dragged that guy away. And fortunately, Corbin was fine. I don't know. It all happens pretty fast. It's pretty fast. So
it's an action sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, it took me a few times to try and get exactly everything that happened there. But there's Zorg. I think he's the one that kind of is using these corrupt cops to get people. And then there's other moving parts in there because there's these guys. the Vangalores, because they, Zorg, they used to work for Zorg, but then he tried to blow them up. And so they're still in on it. They want these elements too. But who knows? But all sorts of people trying to get to Flostum Paradise, where Corbin apparently is going, although they're having a hard time of it because she's wet and cold. And so he gets her out of the auto shower. It's called auto wash. And yeah. So she's all chilly and wet and stuff, and looks like the bed actually shrink wraps you when you're in it. That's, I guess, useful. And so he lets Vito out, and Vito sees the invitation right there that was just delivered, and so he's like, he's going to take this trophy on the shelf, and he ends up clubbing Corbin over the head with it. Corbin falls down, gets knocked out. Vito takes the perfect woman, and they're off to Flostum Paradise. Yep, that's how many members of the clergy get their vacations. So yeah. That's how that scene ends, and it looks like that's how that stack of slides end. So I am going to remove this because I've learned from last time. I think I'm going to remove the slides that I'm finished with so that they're no longer there. And I think here, during our first break, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to YouTube, and we're going to have a little bit of a vote on something. I'm going to call up the next slides here so they're ready to go. That's the general just getting out of the chill box. But on YouTube, we are going to have a little bit of a vote to see what we're going to do next. Now, I think the two films that I'm going to offer here as possibilities are films that we would eventually want to cover anyway. It's just how soon, how quickly, and especially with Easter coming, we have a couple options. I'm going to look here for every time it feels like the first time. Start Q&A. No. Start a poll. We need to find out what that Q&A thing's all about. Okay. What should we do for Easter? And this could either be starting a week before Easter and Easter itself, because I don't know, the 13th and the 20th, we might need both to do a film. And what the, hold on here. I'm trying to change the options. Do I have to add an option to change the previous ones?
Come on, man. The suspense is killing me.
Well, I want to change this yes into an actual title of a film.
Ah. That's what we're waiting for, man.
And no, what the hell is going on?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Hold on. I'm going to exit out of that. Let's try this again. Add poll. Yes, start a poll. And I need to change yes or no. Oh, my. It's not letting me change the options. Okay. What
I'm voting for a Charlie Brown Easter.
Did they actually have a Charlie Brown Easter?
Yes.
Okay. Guess it wasn't as big as the Christmas one.
No. Had Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. They had everything.
Oh, how come it's not letting me type? YouTube is not letting me type. It let me type the question, but
it must be canceling you for Easter.
It wants to be yes or no. So I'm going to have to do this. What should we do for Easter? Yes equals, our first option will be drum roll, The Life of Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And if those of you who want to vote no, the option will be something I remember what Flav said to us one time. He recommended that we do some Hans Zimmer. Now, rather than just doing an overall Hans Zimmer episode, we could do a film where Hans Zimmer did the score, and a very good score, in my opinion. That film would be the Da Vinci Code.
Oh, man.
I haven't
And
seen the Da Vinci Code, so I'm for
It's
that.
been a while.
so our options are yes and no. Yes means Life of Brian. No means the Da Vinci Code. I'm sorry, for some reason, it lets me type the question, but I can't change the two options from yes and no into actual options where I
You
have the
probably
film
didn't
title.
select poll.
It's not fair you pitting anything against
Well,
me.
I'm about to, it says start poll. I mean, I'm on the poll. And it says at the top here, the title of this window is Create a Poll.
You're confusing Scott, so.
It'd be easier just to say, what do y'all want? And we'll all type it out.
Yeah, type it in the chat. That might be easier.
And
Well,
Liza,
I made the poll. I might as well launch it. There we go.
Liza will keep the score. Let me start. Oh, there it goes. So yes is Life of Brian. No is God.
No is the Da Vinci Code. I was considering for a time having a third option. In this circumstance, I would have had to put in maybe. But in our discussion on the group on X, some of the folks recommended, it's probably not a good idea, maybe too controversial. But I remember there being a very good score for The Last Temptation
Life
of
of Brian?
Christ. No, The Last Temptation of Christ had a very good score by Peter Gabriel. But remember, when that film came out, it was basically people were protesting at theaters and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Man, there's
Yeah.
people that I remember a guy calling Jesus Christ Superstar blasphemy. I said, how the heck is it blasphemy? It's rock music. I'm like, where in the Bible does it say rock music is blasphemy?
You should see what they play in the mega churches now. It's a
Yeah.
whole huge
My
production.
favorite, since I was raised Catholic and went to Catholic school, we always had, the school mass. And they had the guitar mass. And but they did the Beatles' Let It Be.
Yeah.
Mother Mary, and all that.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't know is that the Mary that Paul McCartney is referring to in that song is his actual mother.
Oh,
Has nothing to do with the Virgin Mary. So,
interesting.
yes.
Yeah, I don't think Paul's mother was a virgin.
No.
Actually, I don't know anything about her, so I couldn't say. But in any case, certainly not
No.
the Mary we know of as the Mother of God.
But,
And another thing, I think the Life of Brian could be considered controversial, but remember, it's about Brian, not Jesus. It's about
here's
Brian's
the
life.
deal, man.
Brian is a
It was
different
Handmade
person.
Films, which was George Harrison's company. So George Harrison put up a lot of the money for Life of Brian. But anyway, they had, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
I watched an interview on it, and they were talking to Eric Idle, and he said that of course we all read the New Testament, right? Because it does follow that time period. He said, and in the end, he said we have no problem with Jesus. What the film is poking fun at is blindly following. So it's the blind following of religion that they're making fun of, not Jesus,
Right.
Good point.
says Eric Idle.
Okay.
Right. And yeah, I think
there you
also
go.
it is depicting technically another person, and it's having fun in a way that I really don't find it to be any insult to having faith
Well-
and believing in especially what Jesus's message was.
No,
the
and it
teachings.
incorporates how people messed it up. So as we'll see
Oh, yeah.
when we do the movie. So
It
yeah.
looks like we are, but I'm going to leave that poll up and we'll finish these slides and see what the results are.
Yeah, very good choice.
I think last time when we did Monty Python, we did the Holy Grail and we
Well, don't give the
did
Russians
it with
a chance to get in there.
Well, we did it with a combination of doing a tournament of instruments, and I don't think I want to turn it into a 4-week event like we did with the Holy Grail.
No,
but,
no, no, no.
but
don't do
but
that.
maybe at most 2 weeks. But we might be able to include some instruments. I don't know if we could find some things from ancient Rome, I suppose.
Just be careful about. There's a certain instrument in it. There is. Well,
There
just
is?
remember, there is full frontal nudity in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Well, you've seen it, Liza. You know, it's
No,
quick
but
enough and
I
stuff
don't
that
look. I
Graham
don't
Chapman
remember
chose his
the
instrument.
frontal nudity. The thing is, you can get in big trouble.
well, it's not like I have to
broadcasting that on
include every slide. You know?
Just be careful.
It's not
Remember,
every frame of the movie
Well,
must be.
just to
Lawrence
warn in
is
any viewers
not
out there that
the-
might have not seen the movie and might, want to watch it ahead of time.
Well, it's full frontal of both. A man and a
Graham
woman.
Chapman
so,
does show his instrument in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well,
Yeah.
Be
and-
careful.
Yeah, but
when
how
you're
often do you
editing
see
your
full frontal
slides.
man?
yeah, you don't often see full frontal man. And actually, Liza, when she saw it, she said, he has a lot of gumph. I didn't know there
Yep.
was a word gumph.
And think about
she
when the
used
film
it.
was made as well. Yeah, that was pretty much, Of course, the Flying Circus had,
The Flying Circus has some interesting scenes.
Close
yeah.
to
boobs in
nudity.
it. So, and that's in the.
I don't know how they
late
got
60s,
away
early
with
70s.
that. Probably
Well, I first
Television.
saw it at my grandparents' house when I was like, I don't know, 11, and I about shit myself. I was like, whoa, PBS.
Yep.
Scott says yes, groundbreaking for the for the
Yeah.
time. Cool beans, Scott.
All righty then.
So
Yeah.
anyway, we shall soldier onward. And I have the
Let's
slides
get
up.
to the music, please.
Okay, well, notify me if I miss any numbers. So here we are on the next set of slides. He lets the general out of the cabinet there. Now, here we are. They're about to go on vacation. And so she's all happy about that. As a supreme being. There's the ticket taker.
That's an interesting outfit.
Yeah, very kind of combines space age with airlines, I guess.
The breathable, whatever.
Yeah,
Let him breathe.
a little bit of slots, and then he basically, Father Vito decides to shuffle this off to young David here, his assistant or altar boy, I don't know what, but basically it's going to be his job, and so it's in up to him to pass himself off as Corbin Dallas. But Corbin, yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Cornelius is not the strongest guy in the world, and even though he knocked Corbin out, Corbin was able to get up and recover pretty soon. So he shows up pretty much right away, and David's like kind of scared, and so Corbin, basically becomes himself and shows that he is himself. In fact, look at the ID right here. He has his multipath, as does the
She
lady.
looks happy too.
Well, she was very happy to have a multipass. And then we have
She's
these
happy to have
guys.
him as opposed to a little pipsqueak.
Yeah, he's going to be more fun, certainly.
Yes.
And then we have here, I don't know, some folks that are also walking through it's kind of like an airport, but it's a spaceport, really. There, yeah, she's happy to have her multipass, and she mentions it frequently. Multipass, yes. Well, when she was in that tube, the general did approach her with an ID and say, you're going to have to expand your language skills to get anywhere here. So she saw that ID, and now she's happy that she's got one. And there we go. Now, Father Cornelius is having a cup of coffee, and this is how you get served coffee in the future, apparently.
Far out.
Is that a touch screen face? I don't
Looks
know.
like
But,
it.
yeah.
Oh, we have Inga in position to be filmed. Oh no.
Oh, good. That'll help.
I'm gonna switch up my camera here to
We're
capture
gonna
her
have
in
some
full
cat
glory.
cam. We're
Cat
gonna have
cam.
some cat cam.
Yes. Inga.
Now,
Ooh. How you doing, Inga?
All rested up.
so David comes back to Cornelius and tells him what happened, and Cornelius realizes, all right, he's gonna have to figure this out. Now, these two folks come up to the ticket taker and or the ticket provider. They want to pass themselves off as Corbin Dallas and guest or plus one. And but there's something about them, that oops, let me go forward, not backwards. There's something about them that is a little bit shady. In fact, upon further review, they are dangerous. They're not what they appear. That is not Sinead O'Connor and Hugh Grant there. So ticket taker says, no, sorry, but Corbin Dallas has already come, and you guys are not it. And
Losers.
they're not happy about that. But whatever. Good thing that they have security there. So here we are back. It almost looks like backstage, but it's just about to enter the spaceship to go on this adventure. And the stewardess mentions that, yes, multipath, but the stewardess is mentioning that, as a contest winner, he needs to appear with Ruby Rod, the great Ruby Rod, and a celebrity of the times. And she gets to see Ruby Rod, too. She's got a multipass. And then... unhappy couple.
Mm-hmm.
There they are. They're leaving the joint, but then police comes in, and this thing is where the music starts kicking up, and there's all these people are coming in and out, and you got to really watch carefully to see what's happening. And someone there has like that's Sinead. Sinead O'Connor has a flamethrower, and just starts firing it off, and hoping that will accomplish something. There we go. That is something you may or may not see on the cover of Conceal Carry magazine. So there we go. There is Cornelius. He's trying to sneak in too. He's creeping around. He wants to sneak aboard the spaceship. Burce Willis is like, I'm not in the mood for this Ruby Rod guy. Really? Well, here's Ruby Rod, and that's our next media clip.
Yay.
So we get to hear something, a little bit of music by Eric Serra. And let me go on over here to our video player, which is appearing for me tonight. And that's lovely. Thank you very much. Yep. So a little taste of some musical magic there. That sequence is pretty out there. So Mike, you're a musician. Has it ever crossed your mind to maybe do something that pops like that?
No. I think even Inga decided to pop like that. Right as you said that, she leaped
She's on my desk
away.
now. She
There
jumped,
is no more
jumped
cat.
away.
Oh, she jumped
Oh,
away.
Inga,
Oh
Go
no.
back, Inga. I'll try to get her
She
back.
doesn't like it. Okay, we're gonna work on that. And while we work on that, we go forward here. Yeah, okay. So there is Ruby Rod. Yeah, I mean the hair actually is something that I think. I don't know. I think that could work. I don't know how I'd be able to do it because my hair is kind of flat. It doesn't have much volume. But could twist it around something. And I see cat cam.
Yes.
Cat cam. We got cat cam. We have cat licks. Now Ruby Rod is saying something dirty here to the stewardess, and and
Naughty.
moving on with his routine. And there we go. And a little bit more from Burce Willis, Corbin is not into it. He's not feeling it. But the routine goes on for a bit, and we see all sorts of looks. I love the mic. Excuse me. Even though he does have a, what do you call that? Hold on, I got a cough.
A headset mic?
Very good, Mike.
Yes.
Very good, Mike. You are all about the mics. Yes, headset mic. Even though he has that, he has what looks almost like an RE20 there in his left hand. Kind of like the golden EIB microphone. And so anyway, a bit of flash and talking dirty to the stewardesses. It's at Swappers. Swappers. He didn't join us, but he's chatting with us. He's got an early start, so he can't be on stage, but he'll sell the popcorn. All right. So anyway, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Ruby Rod's getting close. Now, I think here we are at the end of the performance, because Ruby Rod is a broadcaster in person, but it's all going out over radio, and later we will see that the climax of the film all goes out on radio. These are some of his attendants, and they're just doing what they typically do and trying to compliment the star and the talent. And the talent's not sure. He's not sure it went too well, and he's actually telling Corbin that, your personality wasn't there. I wasn't feeling it from you. But Corbin's not feeling it from him, and pretty much puts him up against
He's not a yes man.
you. Now, here's a latecomer. This guy is also trying to pretend he's Corbin Dallas. And, yeah, she's not having it now. And then she brings out, for this guy, not only is late, he gets the penalty box. And that's the thing that drops down there. And so, and now we have the stewardesses about to tell the passengers, please get into your, looks like drawers. Get into your drawers, and we'll help you get to sleep. And we find out pretty much they gas them is how they put people to sleep. That's what I need to take a flight, really. Mm-hmm. Just put me out. I don't want to experience this. And so Corbin goes into their drawer, and that's who's waiting for him. But he doesn't get to enjoy the trip, really, because they get gassed. But in any case, she's smiling, and she actually has some wisdom to impart to him. He thinks he's being the hero. He's protecting her and everything. And she says, no, I'm the supreme being, and don't worry, I will protect you. And he's like, oh, really?
Huh?
He doesn't know yet. He doesn't know. And, that's exactly it. She's going to protect him. Swappers. They're in the peanut gallery. All right. So anyway, what's happening next? Well, the stewardess says, okay, it's time to go. And basically she puts them out. Now look at that console there. That's,
we're looking at the console.
Some folks that designed this set spent, I think, a good deal of time putting together that little push button panel there, made sure that those lights would light up, and make sure that that it would light up when they're pressed and everything like that. So someone put a great deal of attention and effort into that. Okay. Can't milk that slide for too long. So anyway, she puts them to sleep, and so they're all out. There's the pilot. And the pilot brings us our next media clip. And let me load it up, and we will go to it. Clip 7. Now, I included this because I thought we should have a little bit of reggae. Not only does this give
always
good demo of Eric Serra's music and his bass playing. It also gives us some good snapshots of what's going on here. So let me see. Liza, unfortunately, let me see what Flav has to say here. Go back 2 slides. Yeah, he wants another good look at that panel. Yeah, I am on a stream with my wife, so I don't think I should go back 2 slides. But at least we get to now press play here on this.
Didn't want to go back 2 slides, huh?
Well, it's not John Williams, but it's a pretty good score.
And in front of the cat.
Well, the cat was looking at the rats. Ingla's looking at the rats. Look at her. She's staring right at me.
Probably.
Oh man, swappers, look at what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So anyway, there's Zorg. Cut to Zorg. And now he gets a phone call. Yeah, but I guess we get into... Yeah, he's getting a phone call from the not-so-successful Corbin Dallas. He didn't get on... Yeah, he didn't get on the plane as he was instructed to, and we still have Ruby Rod. Now, I think Ruby Rod, is that kind of like Red Rocket? I don't know. But she... Some of her facial expressions.
I think he wants more rats.
Is that like a euphemism for something? I don't know. There we go. There's Father Corleone. And he's underneath the plane. He's trying to find a way to sneak on. And the pilot is now announcing that they're ready for takeoff. And there's the cockpit. Just about everything I say. All right. And then there is the stewardess, and she is not in her upright position. See the top of Ruby Rod's head. There's the engines about go off. There's a lot of symbolism in this. There we go. And then Zorg is discussing his discontent with his henchman there. And he's about to... Somehow he has access to something that... it turns on the engines. I don't know. I don't know if they were just timing that. I guess so, because he couldn't have turned on the engines himself. How would he have remote control over that? The pilot should be turning on the engines. But anyway, she's done.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually well timed, and we still see some flying people because, well, one of the henchmen was one of those flying people. So Zorg's upset. Zorg's going to have to do things on his own. But now you can return the stewardess to her upright position. And there we go. They're taking off, and they're launching from, I guess this is supposed to be New York. So there we go. And that's how they do the time warp there.
Rock.
And then we have 3 Star Destroyers. And those are the Star Destroyers that are monitoring the great evil right there.
The great evil.
Yep. And President is kind of like, at this point, I think he's a little bit perplexed because the evil has just emitted some electromagnetic stuff. And one of his guys says, maybe it's making a call. And in fact, it is. It called Zorg's office. And there we have some green hair. Go with the red. Very nice. And that's Zorg's secretary. She patches him right through. He didn't want to be bothered, but, you know, you said it's okay. Notice the landline. There we go. Notice the landline. I like getting pictures of good landline phones. And so Zorg receives the call, and it's from Mr. Shadow. That's the one person that could come through to Zorg. And apparently Mr. Shadow can reach out and touch someone. And he can make some dark goo come down your face. Shadow says, it doesn't matter. You know, you tripled your price. That's fine. Money's no object. And Zorg is a little bit concerned that he's dealing with a heavyweight here. And he just might be. After the phone call, things kind of go dark there a little bit. And they're concerned. The military folks are concerned. And he wipes away the dark goo. And he's still concerned. So there's something about evil. There's something about the source of all evil in the universe that just kind of puts you on edge. And look at the nice spatial highways here. All those running lights at the side to help you out. And here's the cruise ship. It's the Pacific Princess of the year 2219. I think Captain Stubing might be on board. And did you catch that reference?
I did. The Love Boat. Yes.
Soon we'll be taking another run. Yes. Those were the days. Love Boat and Fantasy Island with the guest stars on each.
Played the plane.
Yeah. Norwegian Cruise Lines, I guess. All right. So anyway, here we go. We're arriving in Floston Paradise. Time to wake up, Bruce. Hello, Bruce.
Yes.
And so let's check
Ergonomically
out.
correct bed.
Let's check out what we got to play here. This is clip number 8.
Yeah.
And we're going to load that up and go right on over. You know, it's when Swappers isn't here that we actually, things work. All right, so here we go. Yes. I don't know why I included that. I just thought, hey, this is some eclectic music here, right?
Yes.
There we go.
And she was enamored with the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the Supreme Being would love Hawaii, I think.
Yes. I'm not so sure about Inga, though. And I believe Inga has Liza's tongue, because I haven't heard her in a long time.
She's trying to keep a cat, you know, satisfied with just sitting there and being on camera. And that's no small order.
No, that's no small order.
As well as moderating the chat.
Good
to see you, Bayona. Make sure you participate in the poll. Unfortunately, I had to work around that a bit with a yes or no question. Basically, yes means the life of Brian, and no means the Da Vinci Code for our Easter festivities, which may begin on the 13th or the 20th. And that's, I don't know if Swappers is still in the chat. I'll DM afterwards because we need to coordinate with him. We may begin the whole thing, like the life of Brian, on the 20th for Easter and do 2-weeker. But we got to time it with him.
I'd say you have your answer.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, it looks like the life of Brian won, but sometime we will do the Da Vinci Code. That has a very nice score.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that. It's been a while. I know it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we should do that sometime. But I think Life of Brian would be most fitting.
Most spectacular. All right. So here's the Cornelius, Cornelius, not Corleone. He snuck on board the plane, but they found him. But he got on there, so he's in paradise now. And here's a ticket to see what we will find to be our main event, the performance of Plavalaguna.
Gentlemen, we got a super chat.
Oh,
hey, you got a super chat there, buddy.
All
Get
right.
a beer for me for doing The Fifth Element. It's one of my fave sci-fi from Flav.
Well, thank you very much, Flav. And we aim to please. And I still remember your admiration of the music of Hans Zimmer. So we will be doing some Hans Zimmer at some point, and even after the Life of Brian, we will do it at some point. I think the Da Vinci Code is one of his great scores. But if you want to mention some other scores there in the chat, Flav, you can definitely recommend what's your favorite Hans Zimmer score, or just something else. But this Fifth Element was requested by Scott, so we thank Scott for the inspiration.
Yes.
Lava Laguna. So Corbin's there. He's arrived. He's in the hotel room. He's got the ticket to see Plavalaguna, and there's the hotel staff. There's a theme between the spaceship and the hotel. I'm not quite sure what it is. There's a theme. But anyway,
It comes in pairs.
yes, I think it does. Well, I think he's being told that you do have your suits right here. She shows him there's like a rail of suits, basically tuxedo wear for the concert. So he's all good to go, but he's kind of, well, actually, I should say he does have a bit of smirk on his face here because he's going to be the guest of Ruby Rod. So unfortunately, he cannot take the perfect woman to this concert. He has to go with Ruby Rod. And he gets a call from his mom. And, like a mom does, she kicks him when he's down. She's complaining that he got this trip and he didn't take her.
Yeah, that was kind of random.
Yeah, it's out of nowhere, but
Mom called.
But it was 90s,
Yeah.
Life was good then, so we could allow that to happen. Well, here comes, this is the opera singer, and I don't know. She's a lady of mystery. She's all, what do you call, veiled up. And here's the guy in charge of security. Now, they must not have too much trouble there in Flowston Paradise, because they probably could have done better security than this guy. He's scared of the opera singer. You can only imagine what he thought later on what happens. But anyway, well, she does look a little ominous. Got a pair of lungs on her. And so anyway, no. Have you ever been in a room when an opera singer like unloads? Whew. It is something to behold, folks. I mean, there is definitely a difference between singing and singing opera. I mean, you'll lose ideas with how intense that is. It's like the vibrations and, the vibrato, like, wow. You just feel these pulses of energy smacking at you because they can really sing.
Good night. Thanks.
Good night, Albert. We'll see you next Sunday.
Good night, Albert. Yeah.
Albert.
Next Sunday, we're going to have some live music for you.
Oh, yeah.
Musical Saw performed by Albert from Now Open for Lunch. And he will also be showing us how, he has some videos on how to mod a saw to be able to use it as an instrument.
Yep.
So there we go. That's our diva next week.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Good night,
Front row
Good night,
seat
Albert.
now.
Now, this lady, basically the opera singer's security guy met with the hotel security guy and just kind of took him in the room a little bit, trying to fill him in on a few things. And here, one of the opera singer's assistant is there kind of whispering to the side because she knows the Fifth Element is there, and she's whispering that we're going to do the exchange later. And so that's the exchange of the 4 stones. And here we go. We're going to remove this because we have coming up next, in between our sets of slides, I think Burce Willis has evaded AI imagery for far too long. And Inga is with us on camera still.
Yep.
And she wanted her AI segment this week.
Inga.
Yeah, she's kind of testy.
Don't
She's
do
kind of
that
testy.
and get beer.
I think she's denying what you just said.
How dare you?
But
Like,
you're in the
not gonna-
picture, Inga. How can you deny that? How can you deny that?
Ooh.
All right, so here we go. We know the score. Is this AI generated or a real picture of Bruce Willis?
I don't know.
Now remember, since the movie, that was 97. So that's almost 30 years ago.
well, yeah. It looks like an older version for sure. He is getting up there in years, you know.
Yeah. Well, that is a picture of Bruce. And a real one.
No,
That,
Mhm.
no?
that's a fake.
Bald? Kind of got that tough guy look. All right. Well, all right. I guess Mike is correct. And so we shall move on. How about this? How about this?
No, fake.
Remember, this is the guy that did star in Moonlighting way back in the day. Mike's too good. Not only does he know all the microphones. Now, we have two for the price of one here. Is
Ooh,
this
John
Bruce
Travolta.
Willis and John Travolta?
What? Yeah, that one looks real.
Okay, yes, this is Bruce Willis and John Travolta at some point. I have a feeling it was 90s-ish or maybe early 2000s, but I think people probably out there remember the famous scene where both of them were together.
Bruce Willis was on Welcome Back, Kotter?
No. Does anybody remember that good old film where it involved Bruce Willis, John Travolta, and a toilet?
No.
You didn't see Pulp Fiction? Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I saw Pulp Fiction, but that don't look real.
No, it is not real, but
Yes, I saw Pulp Fiction.
yeah, no, that's not real. There's arms coming out of that. Yeah, I asked for a picture of Bruce Willis and shooting John Travolta on a toilet, but AI totally avoided that. And so we got arms coming out of it. Okay, how about this one?
No.
Oh, are you sure?
Maybe yes,
Watch
but
the
I
AI.
can't. Are you sure, Mike?
I don't know. Looks like a cross between Bruce Willis and James Caan.
Well, that certainly wasn't my purpose. No, I found this. This actually is, at least it purports to be an actual photo of Bruce Willis
It looks like him.
on the set. I would say that it looks kind of like
man.
it looks kind of like somewhere in Die
Where
Hard,
did you get this off of? Fake news?
somewhere on
You
Die
get this off
Hard.
the CNN website?
It could have been Die Harder, or it could have been
Die-
Die Really Hard, the third one.
Diarrhea hard?
Let's see. How about this one?
You gonna tell me this one's real too?
Is he at a Renaissance fair?
Perhaps he was auditioning for Russell Crowe's role in Gladiator.
Yeah, that's fake. That is AI. Look
Inga
at his
won't even
face.
look at it.
No, she's insulted. No.
Oh, poor Inga.
That's how fake it is. He's like,
How about that?
holy cow, Bruce Willis with hair? What the hell?
He did at one point have it.
There he is.
What point? High school? That don't look like high school.
He had some on Moonlighting.
Really?
I believe that was a show where he starred with Sybil Shepherd. I believe it was. That was when I was still like in 8th grade or something like that. You know, that's going back before he was an acting
Even
star.
the kiddies dissing that.
Yes.
No,
I
this is an actual photo.
Scott says it's real.
Oh no, he
If
was
Scott
he
says
was
it's
talking
real,
about
then
the
I'm
previous.
on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is real. Also,
Okay.
Yeah, it's real. That's back in those days. Back before he became an action
Trying to be
star.
Fonzie?
Now, I'm wondering if people remember this moment. And Mike, you probably don't unless you watch Top Gear.
No.
But back in the day, these three British gentlemen were touring
So it's
U.S. Well, hold on.
Background?
That's not the question here. That's not the question here. These three British gentlemen were touring the U.S. in some muscle cars that were released in the early 2000s. And they were on a visa where they could only do a documentary and somehow they couldn't be entertaining. I don't know if they made that up, but whatever. The whole premise of the show was they were going through the U.S. and they couldn't be themselves, so to speak. They had to do just documentary filmmaking and not be entertaining. And so the question really here is, are they talking about Burce Willis at this point? And I don't know. Mike, you probably don't know, but we saw something from...
We've lost Inga.
We saw, okay.
Yeah, we lost
Inga just
Inga.
went to sleep. Inga said, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's got Liza there just trying to keep her in one position. So is Flav going to help us out from the UK? I don't know.
Flav says this is from Grand Tour, not Top Gear.
Oh, no, this was Top Gear before it became Grand Tour.
You sure?
Yes.
I don't know. Flav is British. He would know.
No, but I remember this was before before they went on Amazon. This is before Jeremy Clarkson smacked somebody.
He smacked somebody?
But
Really?
anyway, are they talking about Burce Willis? Did he give a yes or no answer?
Scott can't remember.
Well,
I don't even know.
They were. In fact, they were saying that they were going to, pretty soon, if they took the wrong turn, Burce Willis was going to come over in a helicopter and supposedly arrest them because they were being too entertaining. I think probably the concern was the last time they had, the time before they had visited the U.S., they made the mistake of going to Alabama with cars painted up with things that Alabamans would not like to see. But anyway.
Yeah, don't mess with the locals.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what they were looking for. So is this Burce Willis stepping out of a helicopter?
No.
No, there's something wrong with that photograph. Photograph flotation.
Perhaps the helicopter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not right.
Either is
Yeah.
Willis.
I don't know. He looks game. The propeller, I don't think will get you into flight, but
Flav is asking if that's Top Gun.
Top Gun, like Top Gear.
I don't know. Wasn't
No.
there a movie called Top Gun?
Yeah, but it wasn't helicopters. It was F-14 Tomcats with Tom Cruise
Oh.
and Val Kilmer.
Yes, Val Kilmer.
Inga. Ah!
Uh-oh.
She's
Ruh-roh.
getting all right. Well, she's really upset, so I think we're going to stop it. This is our last slide with that anyway. So we are going to move on to our film, and things are going pretty well right now. I hope they stay this way. Let's knock on wood. You know, at least getting through the slides and things.
He goes out of here.
Without the issues.
I think he is done being a star tonight.
Yeah. She's like, get that camera out of my face. So anyway, I know how he feels. What he realizes right now is they have just begun the broadcast. They've just begun the broadcast there at Floston Paradise. Basically, Ruby Rod is the DJ. He's going out with Corbin Dallas, the contest winner, and they are about to go to an opera performance of all things. And all this is being broadcast on the radio and the president's listening to it. And he's like, this is how we're going to do this? All right. So anyway, there is the planet. There's the planet. And I guess this cruise ship is now in the skies because you can see the planet out the window. So the cruise ship has taken flight, and the Ruby Rod is doing his spiel. He's dancing around, doing his thing. And here we go. What is that? What is that? What is that? I don't remember that moment, but they snuck it in there. Yeah, he's introducing all the famous people and the celebrities there. You know, he's there with the contest winner, and, you know, and that's, oh yeah, I know what he did. He did something with these two. This is like some royal family or something like that, and the daughter, he has a recording of her or something, or at least that's coming up. And he played that recording, and it was like her moaning and stuff. There's something about Ruby Rod. His head is only on one thing. And so anyway, there we go. There is one of the guests. I think his name's Ray. And no, wait a minute. No, those are just some business people. Oh, that's Ray. Yeah, and he's deaf. He's one of the celebrities there. I guess kind of like a Beethoven thing. I think that's what they were going for. Or maybe not.
I think he was an athlete.
I don't think he was an athlete.
I think he was. He played some kind of,
Rugby.
yeah, it was some kind of contact sport.
Well, yeah, he's got the women to prove it. So, all right, there we go.
Rugby?
Yeah, rugby probably. Let's just say rugby. And then
Roller derby.
There we have a king and his princess, and yeah, that's the one that Ruby Rod said he has recordings of, and he played a little bit out of his microphone, and it was strange. Everything happened so fast, it's hard to tell what's going on. You got to really listen to detail to know. But anyway, there they are making their entrance, and this guy kind of goes off to the side, and he opened the door. Basically, it looks like the Vangalores, the space orcs, have a little room to themselves in the wing there, and they're waiting for something. So we know these guys are nothing but trouble. And there is their inside guy, and right on his appearance, we are going to play some musical magic, because this is where it all begins. And this is what we've all been waiting for, folks. This is truly it. The magic of the film. Part 1. I'm doing this in 2 parts. Meaning all right. And so we have to pause there. If I play too much, we have been halted before, and that's always caused problems for us, because then when you try to replay it the next day, it's like it won't allow you to until you cut everything out, and then you cut music out. It's like Swiss cheese. I am looking this name up again because, I know it. It just came to me. Inva Mula is the performer of the voice. She was an Albanian opera singer, may still be, or you know, I didn't look up everything about her, but she performed the voice for this, and she performed as much as she humanly could for the part that Eric Serra wrote, and there was basically, you know, some parts where it was just too much for a human being to be able to do, just the range and jumping to different notes that are far apart and in different
registers.
Yeah.
And having it sound natural, yeah.
And so, I mean, this moment was great because this does go on. I just only included that much because, I mean, YouTube doesn't tell you how long you can play the clips for.
Clip. Yeah.
So I try to be safe just to give enough of a taste. And so we are going to do a few slides because in this moment, while she's singing, we do see some, I think, excellent cuts to different things happening. And we will return to some singing in a moment because I did divide it up in 2 parts.
By the way, this clip was composed by Gaetano Donizetti, and it's a clip from the opera Lucia di Lammermoor.
Oh, really? So
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't Eric Serra. Well, he
No,
did the Poppy version.
he did the Poppy
Yeah.
thing, but not the aria.
Yeah,
No.
it shifts gears, and
It does,
then
but very smoothly, I think. Shifts gears.
yeah, well, and right in line with the scene change. Well, the cuts in the movie.
Yeah,
So that's where we
and
just
certainly
left
the
off.
visuals helped. Yeah.
And there's the visual on stage. It's very kind of slow at this point. A very beautiful lyrical melody, and the actors here performing the on stage choreography is named. Well, they say aMaiven Besco. I don't know if Maven is her first name, because I know Maven is often used as a title of some sort. And so that would be her name. And she really did embody the choreography of the performance. And she moved her arms and her mouth just right. And it was very, very expressive. It was a great moment for the film. And upstairs, because unfortunately Ruby Rod is with Corbin downstairs, and our perfect woman is upstairs, and she is in the corridor, just waiting there. And you have these juxtaposition of faces between her and Corbin, because he's falling in love with her and she might be falling in love with him, and they're thinking about each other at this moment, and they're separated. And there we go. There's a look from behind on stage. But we get a little bit of notification here that somebody is coming in. A ship needs repairs. That's one of the, could be the first mate, could be the second mate, could be the third mate. I don't know. But one of the mates on the ship is saying that to the captain. And the captain says, "Yeah, I'll let him in. Give him 1 hour." But unfortunately, it's this guy. And, yeah, he's going to cause trouble, I think. So he's coming into the now flying cruise ship. And this is the opera singer's security. This is Plavalaguna security, and he is there in the room. He takes a swig of something, and he gets a phone call, and he opens, well, not a phone call, it's like a knock at the door. He opens the door, and back to the opera singer, and back to opening the door. And this is when violence erupts. Let me see. Yeah, I'm looking for my number. I haven't gotten the clip yet, but I am going to play the clip of when the piece changes gears. And there she is. She's up there outside of the room, but near where this is going on. The opera singer's room is being infiltrated by some people that make some bright lights and sparkly, burny things. Yeah, bad people, and she's got this. I mean, the music really makes the scene. I can't talk about it and have it be any good. But there we go. We see great shots of the arm of the opera singer with Burce Willis's face in the background, just like mystified by her performance. And here we go. We get to actually not listen to me, but listen to this change of gears in the performance and expression of the overall idea, because the music does send this film along here. And away we go. So,
Yeah.
I think we got away with about as much as we possibly could with that one. Meaning length.
Pushing it there, buddy.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get halted.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do when you got two badass chicks just going at it?
Yes. Oh, yes. Now, the only hard part was still hearing the sound of the horns there. bam, bam, bam. It's kind of like fashion horns, I don't
Fashion
know.
horns.
Fashion.
Yeah, it was kind
Well,
of
that
like
was the thing
like
in
on the
the
catwalk, you know what I
70s.
mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and you could hear points where it's like, okay, I can hear that. All right, she did this with her voice, but then they copy and pasted a few things, pitched them down, and mostly down, just to get some of the lower register for the, and it's just, yeah, you can hear it, but basically sampled them, triggered them with a keyboard. But she sang as much of the parts as, she humanly could.
What's interesting now is like today, anyone with Waves Tune can replicate this and make it sound more natural.
Oh yeah, definitely today you can make it very close to natural sounding.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what has changed. And I remember back then, like in music and stuff, I thought it would never be possible to retune audio. Then
Yeah.
auto-tune started doing
Maybe.
it.
Yeah.
And actually, even late '90s, early 2000s, with auto-tune, you could do a lot. And I know it's used a lot to create that effect. But it could also be used with lower resolution to really retune things, and in some points it could be almost undetectable. But now it's like they've come so much farther.
Right.
And now
And
they're doing deep fakes.
oh yeah. Well, to show how far they've come with this type of technology, remember the episode in Voyager where the doctor was singing switch between a woman's range and
Yeah.
his range and then a baritone's range, and it was super uberly natural. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that was 25 years ago.
Yeah. That was yeah. Wow. That's right.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
getting there. We're getting there. We're moving along. All right. And so, what a performance. And so she, after kicking a little bit of Bangalore butt, and she finds this case up there, and she's got the case, and it looks like some of the other chests, and this guy wants it, but they're off somewhere else. Some of the Bangalore people did that, but the others are basically ready to take down the rest of the hotel because they don't do anything by half measure. She's got the chest. She's about to walk out, but then guess who shows up? It's Sparky. Sparky with the soul patch. And he's like, hand that over. And so she tosses it. And good move there. Get him to catch the case. And then she hightails it out of there by grabbing onto these bars and then showing some straight seams as she goes on up. And she's now in the ducts. She's in the Jeffries tubes to go along with Star Trek lore. She's in the Jeffries tubes above the hotel room, and he starts firing at her. And so this is where we're going to move along a little quicker. Yeah, he's putting a lot of holes into that, and this is when machine gun fire really starts erupting in these upcoming scenes. These guys, they're sick of waiting in the wings. They're coming out, and Cornelius is there, and you see he's handcuffed because he did stow away on that spaceship. They were holding him there somewhere, and they're pulling out the guns on everybody, and they start firing away in the opera house. And this is kind of reminding me of Godfather 3, where they did have some fireworks in an opera house. Oh man. And there he is. There's Zorg. He's still firing at the ceiling, and she's hiding. And this is where, she's in a bit of a pickle. And unfortunately, somebody there wanted some Skinnerd, and she didn't do Skinnerd. And she's a little bloody.
That's what happens when you don't do Freebird.
Yeah, that's what happens. So she took a hit, and Corbin, fortunately, had front row seats, takes her off the stage. And the Vangalores are just doing all sorts of damage. Maybe they're Vandal lores. I don't know. Anyway, Zorg is still, he had a nice line. He said, I think we should change up the beat. And so he puts a 20-minute timer on everything. And that's a bomb, folks. And so, what's his name? Ruby Rod is just hiding out. And he's like, Corbin. That's all he's saying at this time. The president is listening to this because General Sanders here. Did I get a shot of him? Nope, I didn't. But General Sanders here in the control room, he's the one that selected Corbin Dallas to do this mission. He's like, this is who's doing this mission, and this is how we're doing it. We're listening to it on the radio. Something doesn't seem as slick about that. But anyway, opera singer still clinging to life. Says some important things to Corbin. It's like, you must find her and take care of her. She is powerful, but can also be very vulnerable. And she also says you must love her. Not only protect her, but love her. And all sorts of prophecies here, I think. And at the same time, Corbin's like, all right, so where are the stones? Well, Ruby's still screaming there. But no, we get to that later. But anyway, that's when she's delivering the message to Corbin of some things that I guess that are a little bit secretive, And then Corbin's like asking where the stones are, and she says, in me. And he's like, what? But the stones are in her. There's some bloody stuff going on there. That's not when he's, that's right. See, what's happening now is he, in his position, is being compromised because the Bangalores are coming over there. And so we see some outside shots. This is Zorg leaving the building. He has just left the building. He set a bomb. He's leaving the building. And the Vangalores are coming after Corbin. It's time to go. It's time to get out of here. So he really wants to know where the stones are. All these cuts back and forth, man. And these guys are coming after Corbin. I mean, the heat is on, and Zorg's in the plane about to take off, or the spaceship. I mean, it's all coming together at once, all these jump cuts. And then he finally says, all right, he takes down the Vangalore that's coming after him right here, smacks him down, and then says, Ruby, you just hold this gun. You green, basically hold him down, and you fire it if he moves. And then he sticks his hand in an opera singer. Because he said, inside you? All right, well, you have a convenient wound on your stomach, so I'm going to stick my hand in there. And feel around. And he started pulling out some stones here, and Ruby's looking at that like, I'm not feeling comfortable with this at all. You're sticking your hand in someone, and I'm holding a gun up to this guy's head. And yes, indeed, the stones are inside her. She was packing them. Yeah. That sure makes the whole balloon trick for smuggling heroin a little bit obsolete. Smuggle 4 stones inside your gut. All right. So anyway, There we go. So these guys are still coming after him. And, he says, Corbin. That's probably the thing that said most in this second half of the movie. Corbin. So anyway, we're at the end of this set of slides. So I'm going to remove those. And we're going to go on to the second to last set. We are trucking along. Things are going smoothly tonight. So far. Yes. You even had some cat. So President's still like, all right, he's still kind of really upset with General Sanders. So this is how we're doing it, right? And he's like, my man is going to calm things down. But this is the point where actually Burce Willis starts playing Die Hard and starts making the machine guns, spray like, what do you call it? Sparklers, man. It's like some serious fireworks. And so this next sequence is lots of holes and lots of fireworks.
Lots of Burce Willis.
Yep. And a lot of that machine gun tempo. And these guys have something serious. They have, those are two guns on either side, and then they have two pointy red rockets.
Bottle rockets.
Yeah, looks like. Serious ones. Burce is like, going crazy with the machine gun fire, but he's pinned down, so he asks some help from Ray here. But unfortunately, Ray is deaf. They did mention that before so that you would know. And wait a minute, I think I skipped too much there. Nah. No, never mind. So Ray rolls him a ball is what happens, and I don't know that was a useful one. I think it might have been a grenade, but it wasn't what he needed at the moment. So, Burce is just, being Burce, basically riding machine gun fire, and he has Ruby Rod there to help him out, hopefully. Oh, there's Ray. Ray's still participating. He didn't roll him the ball yet. He's just like, okay, I think I know what you want. And that looks like a ball.
But it's not.
It's not?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't, it was kind of, at some point, I thought it was this had to be a grenade for Burce Willis to throw it at people and blow them up. But it looks like it may not have been, because that's really not a grenade. I don't know. Burce is just
Not
like,
a grenade.
he just says, thanks, Ray. So Ray really didn't help. I thought he did. But anyway, because it was all fast moving stuff, more machine gun fire, shooting at everybody and everything. Burce is pinned down now, and he surrenders kind of, but he kind of gives a little hand gesture there to Ruby Rod, who I found out is partially the savior of the day, because Burce is told to jump down or something. So while he jumps down, Ruby starts firing a machine gun sort of thing with his legs dangling out a hole. It was really hard to see what was going on. I don't know. I'm trying to give you the play-by-play here, but whatever. So yeah, lots of guns. I mean, the whole thing is, I guess that was popular back then. Yeah, I'm not Howard Cosell. I'm not even a Marv Albert. But what's the hell? But there you go. Basically, Ruby Rod distracted them with some fire of some kind, and then there was a blowing up of things. So I don't know. I took some pictures. Yeah, there's a blowing up. That's more of an explosion, not machine guns. So I think he got an explosive at some point. And then they're inside some sort of tray or something later on, like some sort of cart. Oh, no. First of all, he decides to help Ruby Rod out, bring him down a floor by machine gunning a hole in the floor. Ruby lands down with Burce Willis in the mezzanine. So they're on the same level now, which is good. You could easily get lost in this, and in fact, I did. But there we go. He's now in the mezzanine or whatever, the lower level, and they are going to go try and get out of there. And here we go. We're just going to shuffle along, rocket along here. And that's a grenade. I don't know if it's the same ball as before, but that's the grenade. That's the thing that blows stuff up. And they're kind of hiding under cover there in some cart and moving through as all this machine gun fire is going on. And grenade's still there, although it's about to transition into another state. And that's where it does. It blows up, and I think most of the Bangalores get blown up. All that took 10 minutes, because we're now down to 10 minutes left. So we have half of our time left. And Zorg is in his ship, And actually, he's heading back because he realized the case is empty. And so he's coming back, which is not a bright idea.
Yes.
He's pissed, though. And here we are. Here we are at the end of this whole thing. We got Bruce. We got Ruby Rod there. And we got the security guard. We got the dream team, although it's pretty much all Bruce. The security guard is not sure what to do, and he's like, all right, these are Bangalores. They won't do anything without their leader, so we got to take down the leader. How many are out there? The guy doesn't know, and so Bruce looks, and it turns out there's like 5 on the 4, 5 on the right, 3 on the left, whatever. Something like that. He gets a count, and then he turns around again, shoots at him again, and then reduces the numbers and says, okay, now we only got 3 on the right and 2 on the left. And this guy there's like, and he's basically saying, okay, are you ready to negotiate? But this security guard's not in the position to negotiate. He's crapping his pants. So Bruce decides, okay, do you want me to handle this? I'll handle it. And then he just turns around and unloads on them. And, how did you negotiate like that? Is I think what they said at the end, and it's like, that's real good negotiation. And Cornelius is kind of looking at him because he was the hostage, and so I think God was on Cornelius's side, and that's where they say, how did he learn how to negotiate like that? There we go. And President's listening to all this, and he's like, okay, I wonder where he learned. And that's when he takes a look at Colonel Sanders there, or General Sanders on the other side. So anyway, it's time to evacuate. That's why everyone's even more chaotic than they were before. It's time to evacuate because,
we're gonna blow up.
Yeah, the bomb. And that's what I think they're noticing right here. Because Bruce needs to go up and rescue the perfect woman. And they notice, I think it's Ruby Rod that notices the bomb. Oh, first of all, they know how to track her there. Very important detail. Good thing the director left that in. So you know how they found her. They knew what room to go to because of security cam. And there we go. And he finds her, and nice position there. And he's rescuing her. And then, they notice the bomb. But they have like warning alarms in these hotels, don't they? So that bomb's not going to go off. It can't be a bomb. Well, the warning alarms go off, and so it is a bomb. And that's when people really start freaking out, because bombs, that takes down the whole place. And he's like, what are we going to do, Corbin? Corbin, what are we going to do? And Corbin's like, okay, let's get out of here. We're going to get out of here. And so they start looking for a spaceship, but this guy's going the wrong way. Zorg's going the wrong way, but he planted the bomb. He's all right. He's confident. He wants the stones, and they weren't in the case. And he comes in. You see this? The slide before it, they're leaving. And then the slide with him, he's coming in. He's coming in. He's going the wrong way, going against the tide. Bruce says this is just like driving a taxi. And there we are. He puts the key into the bomb. Looked like a hotel key, in fact. Nice design. And he stops it at 5 seconds. But unfortunately for him, another bomb pops up. And this wasn't explained well. Yeah, backup bomb, I guess. And it was by these guys. They're nothing but trouble. Bangalores, and I guess they planted a bomb to blow everything up in case they just felt like it. All right, so we're getting there, folks. We're almost done. We're going to conclude it in style. Back on the spaceship, Bruce is talking to her, and she's troubled. It's like all these wonderful gifts that you human beings have, and this is what you do with it. So much violence, so much destruction. And he's like, oh, there's some good things too. Have you gotten through all your vocabulary words? Because she was on V, I think, at this point. And he says, there's some good words in V. vulnerable and valiant. Not necessarily in that order, but the president thinks they're okay. President thinks we're good. They pop a champagne cork, and that means it's celebration time. But this guy says, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're okay, because this thing has started speeding up." And he's like, "Where's it headed?" And the guy just kind of shakes. And I think the meaning is clear. So president gets on the phone. He's got to make some calls, and he calls Corbin Dulles. I guess he had his number. But somehow they get patched through some of that Secret Service stuff. So Corbin's like, okay, how long is it going to be? And it's supposedly an hour and 57 minutes or something like that. And Corbin says, okay, I'll give you a call after 2 hours. And, he's going to take care of this stuff because the thing's speeding up. So it's time to get back to Earth, put Cornelius's plan into action. But meanwhile, on the spaceship, guess what the perfect woman's doing? She's looking at the computer. This is where she learns information about the past. She hits these nice bubble buttons there. And she gets to the letter W, and then W is war, where you see things like, she sees things like this. And there's all sorts of images that fly across the scene that are of destruction, people killing each other in large amounts, and just weapons of war. And it's one of those things I think we get desensitized to. But there are some times in my life when I think about it and think about my own mortality and just pain and suffering in general. And I know exactly how she feels, just shaking with the thought of it, of all the suffering that there is. Simultaneously, right now, as we're trying to have fun here, there's people with limbs being blown off somewhere. And so it's something to always keep in mind. So anyway, let us bring her home. Let's end on a positive note. There's not a positive note. That's a big old fireball heading to Earth. And here they are landing back where we started at the beginning of the movie, in this temple, probably in Egypt, but maybe not, somewhere in a deserty land. And they enter the room. They know where to go because the Father Cornelius, being the guardian, he knows where to go, and he knows what temple and what to do. So she needs to be laid on a slab, not for sacrifice, but to work in conjunction with the 4 stones. And this is where he's explaining it to them. It only happens every 5,000 years. And so he's like, okay, in theory, we got to figure some things out here. And Bruce kind of like dusts it off and sees, all right, let's just put these stones on these pillars, which turns out to be pretty much, I think, a good idea. And so they start putting stones on the pillars. They fit into place. Okay, good. What's next? And once again, Father Cornelius doesn't really know. And there's that fireball heading to Earth. So he asks the perfect woman, okay, so we got the stones in place. So what do we do now? How do we unlock them? And she says, wind blows, and things like that, which is a more literal hint than ever. And there's Ruby Rod with a lightsaber, it looks like, or just a really big glow stick. I think that's just their lighting. He's like, okay, so what do we do? What do we do? He's all nervous. He's pretty much skitzing out. And Bruce is like, I'm trying to keep you in the DJ business. And if we don't get this right, we all die. And that doesn't keep him calm. That really makes him uncalm. And look at that. If he would have seen that, he would have been really uncalm, even more crazy than he already was. And then this is when, Bruce is really trying to find out, all right, how do we do this? But it's just wind blows. That's the only clue they got. And they have these stones in position. So now what? And even Cornelius doesn't know what to do. And there, the humble apprentice figures it out by accident. Yeah, he figures it out by accident. Looks like we're defeated. He just sighs. And that's the clue. That's the answer right there. And they're like, well, what did you do? And he's not even sure what he did. So they come over, and fortunately he sighed again and the thing lit up. And, well, Bruce also blew on it too. And so they know what to do now. So earth into the earth stone, that means sand. And then we put some water into the water stone. That means sweat. He actually wiped sweat off of his forehead. And then that lit up. And then the fire. That's the last one. And what do we do here? There's one match left because Ruby Rod quit smoking. But fortunately, I guess, as you saw, smoking in like even the first scene where we saw Bruce Willis, Corbin Dallas does a bit of smoking. So fortunately, he has a match. One left, and he lights it. And then it was a dramatic moment. They milked it for all it was worth. So he lights it. That's good. So now what? Now what? These are all opened and lit up, and she's like saying things to him like, what's the use if you're just going to, do all this destruction? Why save humanity if they're going to do this destruction? He says, no. He's pleading the case for humanity. There's good things too. There's good things that we do. And love comes up as one of those good things. And we'll cut to things happening here. Everybody's praying. The whole world's praying. And Bruce is like, ugh. It's like, basically, I can't do the dialogue. I just can't. I can't do it justice.
Loves her.
Well, he eventually does that, but only after Cornelius tells him, tell her. So you see there, he's like taking a long time. And it's finally here where Cornelius says, tell her. And fortunately, he does. And that saves the world. So if you love someone, don't hold back. It might save the world. And these guys are announcing this is about over here. But the stones are lit up. And then they start doing all sorts of light traveling stuff from all four corners and around the altar in the middle. And then it lights up and we're getting laser action blowing out of the temple, blowing out of the earth like a Scirocco. And there we go. And it launches into the evil shadow thing, the evil ball of goodness gracious fire, and it gets obliterated. And there we go. Lots of nice graphics there. 90s graphics, but still nice. And she's spent. She's done. She's basically spent. And, we skipped over here. They're back on Earth now, and we have a motorcade of police flying cars. Nice to have that. And here's the doctor with the tube. And, Dr. Punson Honeydew on the left, and, no, I guess on the right. Who knows? Honeydew and Beaker. But there we go. There's the president. He comes in. He wants to speak to them. He's got about 9 meetings, and he really wants to have a talk with the people that saved the earth. And it would be great to, just have a talk with them. Doctor's like, hold on. We have them in this tube. We're restoring them. And he takes a look in, and, he's kind of nervous. He doesn't really want to show the president what's going on in there. And the president's like, no, how about we do this? And then suddenly there's a phone call from Corbin's mom again. But she doesn't believe the president is the president. She says the president is stupid and you don't sound stupid. And then some other things that the president doesn't like, and he's like done with her. So it's like, okay, now what? Let's talk to the Corbin Dallas. But he's in there busy. And so is she. They're both busy. And everybody was happy. Everyone was saved. All things are good. It's a happy ending, folks. And man, oh day. I am going to have to find out a slightly different way of doing this because I just felt like I just did some really bad announcer bullshit for a basketball game, doing every step-by-step thing there, and like a motorcade. I was rocking like a hurricane.
Well, I thought you did fine.
Yeah, Mike just like, I'm ready for
Howard
bed.
Cosell would be proud.
Howard Cosell. He would talk a little more like this.
Oh.
He'd sound like, I'm not in a hurry. I'm Howard Cosell. I'm sitting here watching a game.
Okay.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Oh, my
We
goodness.
could skip all the boring scenes and do the interesting scenes only.
That's an idea.
Well, that was a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
It was. It was.
Yes, it was a great movie. And, but, so The Life of Brian is next.
Oh gosh.
Yay.
Did it win? Check the poll. Because I'm
Oh.
pretty sure the Da Vinci Code won.
Are you sure?
No, it didn't.
It was
It
not looking.
did, Mike. It did.
It was not looking close.
It was. At one point, I saw 100% on the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, way at the beginning. Now, I don't
Well,
know what that-
yeah, maybe you were the first click.
Check.
So
the
it's
poll.
91% yes, which is The Life of Brian, and 9% for the Da Vinci Code.
No. Wow.
That was a landslide right there.
Chad,
So
why did you do this?
You just can't pit anything against Life of Brian.
well, we are going to do the Da Vinci Code, I guess afterward.
I mean, you know, you would think it would have been a really hard thing to follow up the Holy Grail, but they did.
I don't think they did follow up the Holy Grail.
Yeah, Life of Brian was the next one.
It was all right. It had its moments.
You didn't like Life of... Oh, no.
It had
Okay,
its
it's time for
moments,
Mike to go to
Mike.
It's past my bedtime.
Oh.
Moments.
All right, so this is what it is. Next week we are doing the musical Saw with Albert. And folks, this is really going to be interesting. If you want to hear some masterful performances, the musical
The
Saw is a
acoustic
hard...
theremin. Yes.
It's a hard instrument to play, and he
Yeah.
makes it sound quite lovely, and he can even talk to you, and he will talk about the crafting of it and how you can take a Home Depot saw, modify it, and make it a musical instrument. And we'll actually be able to hear music because I don't think he's got a label. So we'll be able to hear long-form music and stuff. And I think we'll throw in a few other things. Maybe we'll have them do some AI stuff with us and have a little fun with Albert. And then the following week, we'll see if Swappers is ready to do his release. If he is, we'll do him.
Oh, yes.
And we'll be talking Star Wars. We'll be talking his story. Because by that time, everybody should have listened to Praxium of the Pathfinders. And so that way, the 4 chapters he has thus far would have been heard, and there wouldn't be spoilers. Because there's some big stuff that happens. And so, yeah, I'm hoping he's able to do it then. But if he's not able to do it then, we'll join him after Easter. Basically, the way this works out is, we do want The Life of Brian to be on Easter. It's just whether or not it's the first half or second half, because I think it'll be a 2-weeker. Because I think we're going to do some community theater.
Oh, no.
I think we got to do little bit of, we got to do some parts, especially as Swappers joins us. And I'm going to really beg him, to join us for that. So we could do Star Wars Retold first or after. We'll play it by ear. But either way, that's what's coming up in the future. And then not long afterwards, we'll do the Da Vinci Code. Hans Zimmer did a great score for that. And it's been a long time since I've seen it. And maybe Swappers will join us for that. He could tell us which of the conspiracy theories were true and which ones weren't.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, we'll check that out sometime this week, I guess. Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us, Flav and Scott, our rock.
Yes. The real diehards, yes.
Yes. And Bayona Rad joined us tonight.
Yes.
Awesome. Any other folks in the chat you want to give a shout out to, Liza, before we depart?
Well, Tom, I saw Tom a few times in the chat.
Albert from Open for Lunch,
Albert,
who will be
and
on next week.
yes,
I
yes,
think
do
we're
not
down to
miss
Flav
that.
and Scott by the looks of the chat.
Yeah, yep.
So Scott and Flav, good night.
Yes. Wait, I'm missing one person. There was another person in the chat. Oh,
Nice.
no, we mentioned everyone. Cool beans.
Well, all righty.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. And tonight, at least, there weren't so many glitches.
It ran smoothly. How
There you
strange.
go.
How
Yes.
very strange. Except for that weird appearance at the beginning.
Well,
of
it's been fun.
All right.
Oh.
Take care. Oh, what? You said, oh.
Oh, I wanted to release that chat by Scott.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Say good night, Lawrence.
8:56. We are now leaving the air.